Hi everyone, welcome to Watch It Play Table Talk. My name is Rodney Smith. In this weekly segment, I take a gaming-related topic, share my initial thoughts on it, and then invite your responses through the comments and your own videos, which I'll compile into next week's Table Talkback segment, and that way we can all participate in the conversation. Well, this time around it's going to be a little bit different because this is a follow-up to a Table Talk segment we recorded back in January of 2014 where I laid out my gaming resolutions for that year, and I thought I would come here and talk about how that went, share my results with you, and talk to you a little bit about your own gaming resolutions. First of all, the resolution was made up of 5 parts. Let me get my notes out here so I don't forget any of them. Number 1 was that I wanted to play every game in my collection at least once that I owned as of January 31st, 2014. And I wanted to have all of them played by December 31st, 2014. Any that didn't get played, I would just give away. Number 2, playing the game on an application, like some kind of digital device, wouldn't count. Number 3, a partial play wouldn't count. So if I got partway through a game and couldn't finish it, that didn't count as having played the game. Number 4, I could play another person's copy of the game. So say I was at a friend's house and they had Dungeon Pets and I played it there. That counts as having played the physical copy of the game. Number 5, I got a pass on 5% of my collection. In other words, 5% I could potentially not play, and those would not be included in the portion that needed to be given away. The motivation I had at the time for this resolution was that I didn't just want to have a collection of games. I wanted to have a collection of games that I play, or at least had played once, and if I wasn't going to make time for a game over the course of an entire year, well, maybe I didn't need to have it in my collection. You might ask though, well, what does that matter? Why not keep games even if you haven't played them? Well, that's what that 5% safeguard was for, because I recognized certain games I may not get to, but I still value in some way. Now, because of the show, because of Watch It Played, because of kind donations of games from viewers, because of my own acquisition disorder, I do acquire games on a semi-regular basis. But I don't want my house overtaken with games, right? Right? No, I don't. I don't want my house overtaken with games. So the resolution had a practical purpose as well as being just an interesting challenge for myself. Before I talk about the outcome of the resolution, let me just share with you what the experience of trying to do this was like. First of all, it was very rewarding because, as I mentioned, due to the nature of the show, I tend to be playing new games and there's a certain compulsion to be doing that because I'm trying to figure out, well, is this a good game that would work well on the show? But this gave me an added motivation to make sure I was mixing in either old favorites or just games I hadn't played yet even one time and might not have otherwise have prioritized getting them to the table. So the challenge was helpful in that sense that it kind of sat there as a reminder to myself to not just let the inertia of Watch It Played just make all the decisions for what I would be playing next. And I think that's good. The other thing is that it helped me trim down my collection throughout the year. Because if I played a game and realized, okay, well, I don't need to play this anymore, if it's not one that's necessarily a good fit for me, I wasn't going to wait until December 31st, 2014 to take it out of my collection. So throughout the year, it helped me sort of maintain and ensure my shelves still had space on them for new acquisitions during the year. And this list and the motivation behind it sort of took on a life of its own. By December 31st, I put up a list on Facebook and Twitter of the games I had left to play. And a number of people, viewers, friends, even family, sort of took up the call to help me save those games in my collection. Hey, we have to play that game. We can't let that one go away. And so I had friends contact me and say, hey, I'll play it with you over Skype. My wife played a number of games with me that she normally wouldn't necessarily be drawn to, but she wanted to help me with my resolution. And it was really neat to see the gaming community kind of help me out with this ridiculous challenge that I gave to myself. And in the end, outside of the 5% that I saved, I only missed playing 3 of the games, and they were Sail to India, Nothing Personal, and Rune Wars. And all 3 of those games I've already given away to my friends. Actually, Nothing Personal is still here on the shelf, but that's going to be given away this week at my gaming group. There were some other games during the year as well that I knew I wasn't going to get to most likely, and I gave those ones away ahead of time, and I don't remember what those were now. I do have to say though, giving the games away wasn't all that difficult. It was a little difficult. It's a little difficult, but not all that difficult, because I knew I had given myself a year to play every game in my collection. And listen, I got through a lot of them. So if there were a few that I didn't get to, then hopefully my friends will get a chance to enjoy them. And hey, maybe even enjoy them with me. We'll see. But now that brings us to this year and what kind of resolution I want to have. Because I knew I wasn't going to do the same one again. To be honest, it did get a little bit stressful at the end because I really did want to try to complete the challenge 100%, and well, I couldn't quite pull that off. But I'm not complaining. I got a lot of great gaming in. So this time around, I want to do something different. And if you've watched Table Talk in the past, you may have heard me say that I'm interested in taking kind of a deep dive into a few games in my collection. On Board Game Geek, there was a challenge called the 10 by 10 challenge. You pick 10 games in your collection and you try to play them 10 times each before the end of the year. And actually this year, 2015, I think some people are doing a 15 by 15 challenge. 15 games, 15 times each. I don't know how many games, how many times I want to do yet. I'm going to try to decide before next week's Table Talk Back episode and declare both the games and how many times I want to try to fit them in. Some people are doing a 5 by 5 challenge. To make it even a little easier. I have to be careful because the demands of my time do sort of force me in certain directions, but I still want to be able to accomplish these personal goals. And gaming resolutions, I think, are fun, unlike a lot of New Year's resolutions you might make. So if you haven't made a gaming resolution, it's not the end of the world if you don't complete it, but maybe you want to consider trying one for this year. If you already have, I'd love to hear what it is. Send it to me in the YouTube comments below this video, or record a quick video, a 2-minute video or less, detailing the resolution you'd like to make. Or if you think gaming resolutions are silly, you can also tell us why you think they're silly. But I would love to hear some of the different ideas you have. You may even have an idea I haven't considered that I might decide to do instead of what I'm thinking of doing. So again, put your comments below, send me links to your videos if you create them, and in next week's Table Talk Back episode, I'll compile some of those, share them with everyone, and we'll talk about this a little bit more. But until the next episode, thanks for watching.